Hello and welcome, my name is Jocelyn, this is my channel, and today we are doing a palette roulette video. I've actually seen or been watching two people do these kinds of videos. The first is Elle. She calls this series on her channel Palette Bingo, and then I've also been really enjoying Rachel Terry's version of this type of series. She calls hers, of course, Palette Roulette. And so basically, if you're not familiar with this type of video, you choose a palette from your collection. I'm choosing the Sweet Peach palette by Too Faced, and you random number generate 4 or 5 or however many you want shades from the palette to have to use on your eyes. I chose the Sweet Peach palette because this is the current palette that I'm using from my Shop My Stash videos, and I just thought it would be really interesting to use this because there is fairly neutral colors in here, but I do tend to gravitate to the same colors. So I thought that I would random generate it up and see which shades the random generator wants me to use. And hopefully it'll give me some shades that I'm not too familiar with so that I can play around a little bit. I think I'm gonna choose 4 to 5 depending on the first 4. So we will see. I do have the rest of my face makeup done and my eyebrows. I don't have anything on my eyes yet, or of course eyelashes or my lips, because I want to match my lipstick to the kind of look that I come up with. I will link Rachel's channel and Elle's channel down below, so please check them out. They have some really fun videos that have to do with this concept. I just think it's really fun to see the kind of looks people come up with when they don't really get to choose which shades they use. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to swatch the shades that are chosen for me and then kind of come up with a look, and we'll go from there. So I am using the random generator that you just type in random number generator into Google. So I'm playing very fairly. I've got it here. These are the shades I'm going to use. So there's 18 total shades in the Sweet Peach palette. So let's go ahead and see what it gives me first. And the first shade it has selected for me is shade number 11. So we are going across. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Ooh, so it is this shade right here. This is Peachy Pit. I think it's just a dark brown color. Let me swatch it and we will see. So this is the first shade swatched right here. It is a satin, very deep brown color, very pretty. All right, so that's shade number 1. Ooh, the second shade is number 3. So 1, 2, 3. This is the shade Just Peachy, and I haven't used that shade in a while, and it is really pretty. So let's go ahead and get a swatch. So that is what that shade looks like right there. Very pretty. It is like a peach shade with a little bit of gold reflect in it. All right. Next we have shade number 16. So let's see. So that's 6, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Ooh, this is the shade Puree. All right. I have used that shade a few times. So definitely an interesting color combination there. There we are. So far that is Puree, Just Peachy, and Peach Pit. So let's see what that fourth shade is. We have shade number 2. All right. So that is 1, 2. That is the shade Luscious. This is actually one of my favorite shades in the palette. Ooh, there it is right there. I love that shade. I think that is such a pretty, like, champagne peachy shade. Let's go ahead and do one more to see what we get. And it is the shade 15. It's the shade Caramelized. So I was hoping for something a little different, but that's okay. Let's go ahead and just add that. All right, so definitely some neutral shades. I'm glad I got that pop of peach color right there. I have one matte shade, so that'll be interesting. I'm not afraid of using shimmer in my crease though. All right, those are the shades we got. Let me take a moment to evaluate and then we'll get started. So I think I've decided what I'm going to do, and I'm gonna start with the shade Puree. Again, it's this shade right here. It's the only matte shade that I chose, and I am going to put that all over the crease using a blending brush. Ooh, it's a little bit darker than I'm used to starting. Oh boy. Okay, if we use a light hand, it should be fine. I'm always so sure that it looks like crap in the actual video footage, but in person it looks pretty alright. So And then we're just gonna make sure that that is blended, 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 blended. Okay, so far, so good. Next, I think I'm going to put down the shade Luscious. This shade right here, the 4th shade that I was given to use. And I'm just going to take a flat brush and I'm gonna apply it all over the lid. I might come back in with this a little bit later, but for now, we're just gonna plop it down because there's a bunch of shades that are gonna go on top of it. And I think I'm gonna use the shade Just Peachy. It's that really peachy color right there. I think I'm actually gonna put that underneath my eye. Okie dokie. This is just like such a pretty shimmer. I love that shade, Luscious. It's definitely one of my favorite shades in the palette. I don't even need to use some kind of intensifier because it just gives off such a pretty shine. Okay, so next I am going to go in with the 5th shade, caramelized. This shade right here, this was shade number 15, and I'm going to put that on the outer, I think, 3rd of my eye. I'm going to take a brush and just kind of pat it down because I really like that color. It's kind of like Luscious, but obviously much deeper. It's actually, oh, oops, oops, oops. I didn't want to do that. I just got fallout. I always do my eyes first. So I was worried about doing my face makeup first and then coming in and doing my eyes second for good reason. Okay, so I put some of that down and I'm gonna go in and just kind of blend a little bit right in the middle there, and then also make sure that it's blended here. Next, I'm gonna go in with the darkest shade. This is actually shade number 1 that I chose. It's this bottom shade right here, Peach Pit. Let me show you in the pan. It's this shade right here. It's actually got a little bit of purple in it. It's still a very dark brown shade with a hint of purple. So I'm gonna take that and put it in the outer corner of my eye and just kind of see what that looks like. I've actually hardly used this shade, so this will be interesting to try out. Definitely not seeing too much of that purple come across. All right, we're gonna blend that to make sure it is nice and blended. This is definitely a very natural look. That's okay, I don't mind. I did choose a palette with mostly natural colors, so that's to be expected. I'm hoping that that bright peach color on the lower lash line really kind of amps it up a bit. I'm gonna add a little bit more of caramelized the outer part of my eye just to make sure I don't lose that bronze color. I'm also, I think, going to take a liner brush and take Peach Pit. It's again that darkest shade, the 1st shade that I got. And I'm gonna kind of try and get a little bit of a meh. It's not really doing anything. Sometimes you try something and it just doesn't work. It actually kind of worked. There's like this little bit of a shadowing. I don't know, it might look really bad, but I kind of like it, so I guess that's what matters, right? Look at that. I actually kind of like that. I don't know if you can really see very well, but I have given myself some wings. So I think I've used 1, 2, 3, 4 shades already. I'm gonna go back in with a little bit more of Luscious. Again, that's this lightest shade right here, and just make sure that I didn't lose any of that in the inner part of my eye. Perfect. And then I'm gonna go in with Just Peachy and put it all over the bottom part of my lid. Done a really good job about getting some darkness right over there, but that's okay. I have this little flat definer brush that I absolutely love for under the eye. I might have to get an amplifier for this shade because I want a little bit more pop. Okay, I'm going to wet this brush because I want this to be a little more dramatic than it is right now. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's see how well this works. That's gonna do it. I think I also want to take Luscious and put it in my inner corner and on my brow bone. I hope it's not gonna be too dark, but I guess we'll see. Maybe I'll just put it on my inner corner. I do like it, but I'm gonna only put it on my inner corner. I'm gonna use an actual highlighter for my brow bone. Went in with the Wet n Wild Precious Petals for my brow bone, and we're just gonna, I wish I had like a peachy eyeliner, but I don't. So actually I do have this rose gold highlighter, so maybe I'll try, it's like actually more of a pink. So I'm gonna try that. That'll work. All right, so I am going to put some lashes, or not actual lashes on, but some mascara on, do my lips, and be right back. All right, so this is the finished look. I did end up using the shade Frenzy, maybe. It's a Stila liquid lipstick, so this is what it looks like. I think it matches okay. That is one of my Shop My Stash products, so I wanted to make sure I used it this month. And I mean, I just put it on, so I like the color so far, and it feels pretty all right, but we'll see how it wears throughout the day. So I really like this. I do like the way the eyes turned out. Here is kind of a closer up of the lid, and then again I added the shade Just Peachy underneath the lash line down here. It's a very wearable kind of everyday look. I do like the way that this wing turned out with that darker shade, the shade Peach Pit. I do think that kind of looks really pretty, and yeah, it's a pretty simple look. I enjoyed it. This was fun to do. If you liked this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If there's any other palettes that you know that I have in my collection that you'd like to see this kind of video with, let me know down below. Add a comment. I do want to try this with a palette that has a lot more color in it to see what happens. I almost want to try using the Tarte Make Believe in Yourself. I think this would be a very exciting palette to do a palette roulette on, but it could be also a disaster. There's only one matte shade right here, and I think anything that I would create with this palette would be not really a super wearable type of eye look, but it would be fun. And that's the point of these videos anyways, is to just have some fun with makeup. Again, if you liked this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up to let me know that you liked it. I do plan on doing more of these in the future because I had a lot of fun. This was fun to film. I got to kind of create something on my eyes, even though it wasn't super exciting. That's okay. I think that's all I got for you today. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.